Ferrari has just exploited a regulatory grey area that every team knew existed, but only they moved quickly enough to actually use it. The filming day at Madring was never meant to deliver a competitive advantage. It is limited to 200 kilometers, run on demonstration tyres and officially classified as a promotional activity. But in practice, Ferrari turned it into something far more valuable. They weren't simply running laps at a new circuit. They were collecting data that no other team currently has: track grip levels, surface evolution, racing line development, and most importantly, how the car behaves through one of the most complex corners on the layout, La Monumental. This is the kind of information teams usually only start building during the first practice sessions of a race weekend. Ferrari already has it. What makes this even more significant is Ferrari's current trajectory. The SF26 is no longer the inconsistent package it appeared to be earlier in the season. At Silverstone, Ferrari demonstrated a much clearer understanding of the car, combining aerodynamic efficiency, energy management, and chassis balance into a more complete package. As Frédéric Vasseur explained, there isn't one single thing that changes everything. It's one brick at a time. Meanwhile, Mercedes is dealing with a very different set of problems. The pace is still there, but the execution has not been consistent. Toto Wolff admitted, "We have lost 75 points because of reliability," and Lewis Hamilton has already pointed to the likely consequence. Sooner or later, they'll have to take a penalty. So the question now is no longer whether Ferrari is fast, but whether they have started thinking further ahead than their rivals. And if that is the case, how much could that change the direction of this season? If you want to understand why this seemingly small move at Madring could have much bigger implications, make sure to subscribe, and let's break it all down. The significance of Ferrari's Madring decision only becomes clear when you look beyond the headline. Filming days have existed in Formula One for years, and they are tightly regulated. Teams are restricted to a limited mileage, must run on demonstration tyres, and are not supposed to treat these sessions as performance tests. In most cases, they are exactly what they appear to be: marketing exercises, content generation, and a chance to run a car in controlled conditions. But Madring is not a normal circuit, and that is precisely why Ferrari's choice stands out. This is a brand new venue, still under construction, with a surface that has not yet been rubbered in and characteristics that no simulator model can fully replicate. By taking the SF26 there before any competitive session has taken place, Ferrari has effectively reduced the unknowns that every other team will still be dealing with when the championship arrives. That matters because modern Formula One is no longer just about raw speed. It is about preparation, correlation, and understanding. A team that arrives at a new circuit with accurate data on grip evolution, surface roughness, and tyre behaviour already holds a measurable advantage. Even small gains in these areas can translate into meaningful lap time improvements once the competitive sessions begin. The presence of La Monumental within the Madring layout only amplifies this effect. This is not a conventional corner. At approximately 550 metres in length, with a banking angle that reaches the FIA's upper limit, it represents a sustained high-speed load scenario that is rarely seen in modern Formula One. Drivers are expected to carry significant speed through the entry, maintain high lateral loads for several seconds, and deal with a blind exit that limits visibility and confidence. From an engineering perspective, that combination creates a unique challenge. The car must remain stable under prolonged lateral stress. The aerodynamic platform must be consistent across a wide range of loads, and the power unit must deliver smooth, predictable output as the car accelerates through an inclined surface. These are not conditions that can be perfectly simulated, especially on a brand new circuit where real-world variables are still evolving. By running at Madring, Ferrari has already begun answering those questions. They have observed how the SF26 behaves under those loads, how the tyres respond to the banking, and how the grip level changes as the surface evolves. This is information that will directly feed into their simulator models, allowing them to refine their baseline setup long before any rival team has access to comparable data. This is where the timing becomes critical. Earlier in the season, Ferrari's problem was not a lack of potential, but a lack of consistency. The SF26 showed flashes of competitiveness, but the team struggled to extract that performance reliably across different circuits. That began to change at Silverstone. The British Grand Prix was expected to expose Ferrari's weaknesses. Instead, it highlighted their progress. The car was competitive across all sectors, the race execution was precise, and the overall package appeared far more balanced than it had been just a few races earlier. This was not the result of a single upgrade or a dramatic redesign. It was the accumulation of incremental improvements, exactly as Vasseur described. One of the most telling aspects of that progress was Ferrari's approach to energy deployment. Rather than distributing electrical power evenly around the lap, the team concentrated deployment in the latter stages, particularly from the end of Sector 2 into Sector 3. This approach allowed them to maximize lap time gain where it mattered most, while relying on mechanical balance and aerodynamic grip to maintain performance elsewhere. At the same time, the power unit itself has taken a step forward. The evolution of the ADUO program has improved not only outright performance, but also energy harvesting and battery efficiency. These gains were evident at Silverstone, where Ferrari remained competitive on a circuit that demands both strong internal combustion performance and effective hybrid deployment. Aerodynamically, the transformation has been just as significant. Earlier in the season, the SF26 carried a high downforce philosophy that came with a drag penalty. Over time, Ferrari has refined the package to the point where they can now reduce drag without sacrificing stability. The car retains strong performance in high-speed corners while becoming more efficient on the straights. The so-called Macarena rear wing has also played a role in this evolution. Its effectiveness is not limited to DRS activation. It delivers strong aerodynamic efficiency even when closed. That characteristic becomes particularly valuable on circuits like Silverstone, where not every straight allows the use of active aerodynamics. All of this points to a car that is no longer fundamentally flawed, but instead highly sensitive to optimization. That sensitivity is crucial in the context of Madring. When performance depends on fine margins, the value of accurate data increases dramatically. This is further reinforced by the changes made to the car's setup, particularly in areas such as the differential. At Silverstone, Ferrari focused on small adjustments that improved the car's behaviour through the middle phase of the corner and enhanced traction on exit. These changes were subtle but effective, allowing Charles Leclerc to extract more consistent performance across a full race distance. Leclerc himself acknowledged the importance of these details, stating, "It's not enough to look at the data and say this is what we need to change. It is a mix of intuition and feeling." That statement underlines the relationship between data and driver confidence. The more accurately a team understands its car, the more effectively the driver can operate at the limit. This brings us back to Madring. The data Ferrari has collected is not just technical, it is contextual. It provides a foundation for both engineering decisions and driver preparation. When Leclerc and Hamilton return to that circuit for a competitive weekend, they will not be starting from zero. They will already have a reference point, both in terms of setup direction and driving approach. In contrast, Mercedes arrives at this stage of the season facing a different set of priorities. The underlying performance of the W17 remains strong, but reliability issues have undermined their results. Multiple failures, including recent retirements, have cost the team valuable points and introduced uncertainty into their championship campaign. Hamilton's assessment reflects that reality. "In general, this year, the engines have been experiencing more problems than usual," he said. "That is not just a technical observation, it is a strategic concern." Reliability problems force teams into compromises, whether in terms of engine usage, development focus, or race strategy. Toto Wolff's admission that Mercedes has already lost 75 points due to reliability highlights the scale of the issue. In a championship battle where margins are often small, those losses can be decisive. It also means that Mercedes cannot afford to divert too much attention away from solving those problems, even as rivals continue to develop their own packages. This creates a divergence in approach. Ferrari is in a position to exploit opportunities, both technical and regulatory. Their decision to use Madring as a data-gathering exercise is part of that mindset. At the same time, their stance on regulatory discussions, such as opposition to changes in active aerodynamic zones, suggests a team that is increasingly confident in its current direction. Mercedes, on the other hand, must balance performance development with reliability management. That does not make them less competitive, but it does limit their flexibility. When one team is able to focus on optimization while another is still addressing fundamental issues, the competitive landscape can shift. It would be an overstatement to suggest that Ferrari's Madring test alone will determine the outcome of the season. Formula One is too complex and too dependent on multiple variables for any single factor to have that level of influence. But it would be equally misleading to dismiss it as insignificant. What Ferrari has done is reduce uncertainty. They have taken a circuit that will be new to everyone and made it slightly less new for themselves. In a sport where preparation is everything, that is a meaningful advantage. The real question is how effectively they will use it. Data on its own does not guarantee performance. It must be interpreted correctly, integrated into the car's development, and translated into decisions on track. Ferrari's recent progress suggests they are becoming more capable in all of those areas. That is why this moment matters, not because it represents a dramatic breakthrough, but because it reflects a pattern. Incremental gains, intelligent use of regulations, and a growing understanding of the car. These are the elements that define successful teams over the course of a season. So is this simply a clever use of a loophole, or the first clear sign that Ferrari is starting to operate more effectively than its rivals in every area that matters? Let me know what you think. Does this Madring move actually change anything in the bigger picture, or is it being overstated? Drop your thoughts in the comments.